Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to share our 8-step email marketing strategy that we use for our 7 and 8-figure clients. Now, it's because of strategies like this that we were able to take a brand from $50,000 a month and about 23% of their revenue coming from email to over $100,000 a month and over 46% of their revenue coming from email. Now, they were sending campaigns, they had some flows set up, but they were missing out on a ton of revenue every single month. So in today's video, not only am I going to show you the strategy we use, but I'm also going to pull back the curtain and show you what some of these emails actually look like. Hopefully this gives you a really good jumping off point with your strategy. So let's dive in. All right, guys, so as promised, we're going to dive into the 2024 8-step email marketing strategy that we use for our clients. Now, and just before we dive in here, I really want to break down email marketing into 3 different sections and 3 different kind of like overarching buckets. The first is acquisition, and that's really anything pre-purchase. So anything that happens prior to someone purchasing. The second piece is retention. This is where we're trying to get people to purchase more and more frequently. This is where most brands honestly just drop the ball because their focus is just more on either selling their own stuff or just kind of ignoring the customer and trying to get new customers through the door. So retention is super, super important. We want to make sure people actually achieve their desired result there. And then the third is referral. Now, the referral piece is also super important, but you're not going to get to the referral piece unless you focus on number 1 and number 2 and you master those. At the end of the day, people aren't going to want to refer their friends and family to your brand unless you're actually giving them a great experience, right? They either really, really love their product and you're giving great customer service. You need to make sure that they're having a fantastic experience pre and post-purchase. So this is just a different way to look at it and really how email marketing can have an impact on your brand here. Now, the first step here, you can see this is acquisition. So this is without email marketing and this is with email marketing. Now, step 1 is just, hey, we're able to reduce your cost per acquisition a little bit here because we're setting up your pre-purchase flows, we're sending pre-purchase campaigns, we're having more touch points and more relevant touch points with the customer. Now, the second piece is retention. This is where we're getting people to buy more and more frequently. You can see here, instead of just 1 order, they have 3 different orders. And then the last piece, and this is where it starts to get exponential, is they refer their friends, their family, and whoever else may be interested in buying your products. This is where it really starts to expand. Now, the first piece of this whole step and the first of the 8 steps is the awareness side of things. So this is essentially when someone has been active on your site, but doesn't view a product, they don't add to cart, they don't initiate checkout, and they absolutely do not purchase. So the flow that we focus on here is actually the site abandonment flow. And the goal of it is just to see if they're interested in anything at all on your website. And what we want to do here is have an in-email quiz, and I'll show you exactly how we structure that too. Basically, we just want them to check out a product. We're not pushing a sale. We're not trying to get them to buy right away. Obviously, if it happens, that's nice, but our goal here is just to get them to check out a certain product. The objections, they just have no idea who you are. So this is an example of what the site abandonment flow actually looks like. Now, you'll see here, this is very lifestyle-oriented brand, so we're not really focusing on, sales or promos or telling people how awesome we are. We're really just focusing on trying to get that lifestyle across, and you can see that with the photos as well. But what we're doing here is we have 4 different collections that we're trying to see if, people are actually interested in. We have our durable outdoor wear. We have our everyday basics collection. I just got to scroll down on here. And then we have our accessories. It's talking about the accessories. And then we are talking about the denims and versatile pants. So you can see there's those 4 different sections, 4 different categories. And we're trying to see if someone is interested in any one of them. Really, this is kind of like a, hey, are you interested in our brand in the very least? Like, this isn't going to be a huge revenue producing flow, but again, we're just trying to push people a little bit further along the funnel. Now, the second stage is the consideration phase. And this is for people who are on the email list, who visit your site, who visit a product page, but they don't take any further action. Basically, our purpose here is just to be a simple reminder. Like, it's just to get them to come back. The flow that we use here is the browse abandonment flow. And again, our goal is to send them a quick reminder, show them some products they might be interested in, and then ultimately just get them to add to cart. We're trying to push people further down the funnel, further down your website and closer to a purchase. We're not trying to just like Hail Mary it and trying to get a purchase right away. The objections here, it's typically product related, right? They don't know if they like your product. They may be interested in your product or they may not be interested in the product they checked out. So what we want to try to do is show them some other products and build some trust here. So I'll show you an example of this as well. Okay, so this is an example of a browse abandonment email. And again, this is the same brand, so very lifestyle focused. You can see with the photography that it's a pretty killer photo, to be honest. And basically the first email here, we're just trying to remind people, right? We noticed you were checking out our site. Hey, are you interested in this? Did this catch your eye? Are you interested? Or do you want to explore some other products as well? So that's the first thing we do. And then the second email is usually a little bit more about top sellers. So we'll have maybe the product they just viewed, but then also include some top sellers because maybe they just didn't like the product they checked out. Okay, so the third step in our strategy is the preference step. Now, this is for people who are on your email list, they add to cart, but they don't proceed any further, meaning they don't get to the checkout page and they don't purchase. The flow we use here is the abandoned cart flow. This is super important. This is different and lighter than the abandoned checkout flow. So we want to just start with a simple reminder here and just try to handle some of their objections. Again, our goal here isn't to get the purchase immediately. It's nice if it happens, but it's to get them to initiate checkout. The objections here, typically it's going to be were they distracted or trust. So this is an example here of an abandoned cart email. Now, basically this is super simple. Forget something, your basket is waiting, great taste by the way. And then we have a dynamic product section here, go to my cart. Very simple. This is kind of like one of the more simple designs that we'll do. They really like this one and this one worked really well. Okay, so the fourth and final step in the acquisition process is the intent step. Now, this is where people are super high intent. They've got to the checkout page, and this is one of the highest revenue producing flows because people are so close to purchasing. We use the abandoned checkout flow here, and our goal here is to go hard. We usually have 4 to 6 emails in this flow, and each email handles a different objection. A really important thing here is price is always last for us. We often have a promotion for people who haven't purchased yet on the 4th or 5th email in this sequence, but I see so many brands make the mistake of just immediately offering 10% off or 15% off or 20% off or like more than that, God forbid. And the issue is that's only one of the objections that people have at this stage. If you do that, you might help some people, but it's not going to convince everyone. I would much rather look at how can we improve profitability by not offering that discount right away, and instead handle the other objections like shipping time, shipping cost, and trust, and product cost is the last one, and trust before we handle the pricing objection. Now we can kind of handle the pricing objection too within those other emails within trust, right? By highlighting some of the benefits, highlighting the value of the product too, as opposed to just saying, hey, just have 10% off type of thing. Now, this is a really important flow. So I'll show you what ours looks like and I'll show you an example here. Okay, so this is an example of an abandoned checkout flow. Now, it's going to be similar to an abandoned cart flow. Like, don't miss out on Cloud Lake Bliss. So we're trying to use some scarcity here. And then what we want to do is just basically remind people what they had in their cart. So we have the dynamic product right here. We have Get Relief, which is more of a benefit versus just telling them to shop now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try to build some trust up here and highlight some of the reviews of these specific products. This is really helpful. And it's hard to do if you have like hundreds of products or thousands of products. This is super difficult to do. But if you have 2 or 3 top sellers, creating a separate personalized abandoned checkout, and same can be said about the welcome series, personalized series for people who are specifically checking out this product, it goes such a long way and it'll absolutely improve your results. So again, we're highlighting 3 different reviews here. And then we have a final call to action at the very bottom, ready to step into something that feels like walking on clouds. Your pillow slides are just 1 click away and then return to checkout. So that's what the abandoned checkout initial email looks like. Okay, cool. So the 5th piece and the 5th step here is conversion. So this is like mission accomplished, right? And kind of. This is where people actually buy, and the flow that we want to have here is the post-purchase flow. The goal is to make sure people feel confident and excited about buying from you. because oftentimes, and you probably experienced this too, right? Like you enter your credit card, you click go and it charges your credit card and you're like, oh shit. And you have that initial feeling of like, did I make the right choice here? Especially on larger purchases. Our goal with the post-purchase flow is to make sure people feel confident about buying from you and they feel good about the experience as well. Objections here, like, do I trust you? Is it still a trust thing? Yeah, there's still a little bit of a trust thing because they haven't received the product yet. Buyer's remorse is a big thing. And if you can combat that and make people feel at ease, it'll be a better purchase experience for the customer. So here's an example of a post-purchase flow that works really well. So this is the first email. Your order is on the way, track your order. It's giving them the tracking number, and then meet your new healthy habit. It's getting people excited. The rest of the community is excited too. So this is just showing one of the reviews. This is a great email and a great example of how you can just get people hyped up. Okay, so the sixth step here is achievement. Now you've got people hyped up, they've purchased from you. What we want to make sure, this is kind of where like everything has culminated to. You've got people to purchase, you want to make sure they actually achieve what they want to achieve. So they achieve their desired result and they get the absolute most out of your product. This is how you retain more customers and this is how you get people to that referral stage. So this is a post-purchase achievement flow. Basically, we want to make sure they have no buyer's remorse, they're super happy customers, and like I said, they get their desired result here. Now, they don't really have objections here, but making sure your customer actually achieves the solution that they were looking for when they bought your product is super, super important. Okay, so I've got two really great examples here for you. The first is going to showcase more of the excitement side of things, and the second is going to showcase more like product care and making sure people get the most out of the product. So let me share my screen. Okay, so this first one is really just kind of getting excited, like getting people excited here. This is for people who have just purchased for the first time. Relief is just around the corner, is kind of like the header there. And then we're getting people excited. So see how others are styling their slides. We're going to get them hyped up. We're going to show them what they are about to experience. Now, the second example here is the more kind of, hey, here's how to get the most out of your product. Here's how to make sure that you actually achieve your desired result. Number one, just, warm them up. Number two, waterproof wonders, remember they're waterproof. And number three is just style them your way, right? So this is just making sure that people get the most out of their product. This is really, really helpful if you have something like a supplement. If there's certain things that you need to do in order to make sure that you get the most out of your product, then this is where to highlight that. If you have a product, for example, where a lot of people reach out and are like, hey, I'm not getting the desired result I want, this isn't working, and that's the exact thing you want to incorporate and make sure you're hitting on in your thank you email. So this is a great opportunity to address some FAQs that people have post-purchase. Okay, so the seventh piece here is the loyalty side of things. Now, this is where you're trying to get repeat purchasers, and we're just really trying to see if we can get some of our current customers to buy more and more frequently. Sometimes this is just upselling more of what they just bought. And typically the flows we're going to use here are either review flows, post-purchase upsells, or post-purchase cross-sells. Now, our goal here again is just to make sure current customers come back and buy again. So increase our LTV. The objections that people have, it's a really soft objection, but it's, should I buy more? Okay, so this is a really great example of a VIP flow. So you've been a dedicated supporter. Basically, we're trying to like hype people up. These are people who have purchased once, or for this client, it was more than once. So how does it work? Like basically we want to see if they want to join our loyalty program. And this is how it kind of works for them. So hyping up the loyalty program, even like incentivizing people to buy again. So we actually had one for another client where we had free shipping. If they've purchased already, we enter them into a post-purchase sequence, and then we offer them free shipping, and that actually crushed it too. Oftentimes shipping can be kind of like a little bit of a burden. So even just giving them that and being like, hey, we really appreciate you. Here's some free shipping on us. Okay, so we finally made it to the 8th step here, and this is advocacy. This is where we're really trying to see if our most loyal customers are willing to refer their friends and family. Again, you got to make sure those two other major kind of core components are set up and running properly and people are having a great experience. But this is where you can have a referral, an affiliate flow, loyalty flow. So similar to the one that I just shared there. And our goal here is just to get current customers to refer their friends and family, which is often not really objections here, but it might be like, hey, like what's in it for me? Like, how can I benefit from this? And like, People want to share things that are beneficial to others. This is why a lot of affiliate programs or a lot of programs you'll see online, they're going to be like, hey, we'll give you $10 for you and $10 for your friend, that type of thing. So it goes a really long way to kind of get people fired up and get people excited to actually share your product. Okay, so looking at this just kind of inclusively here, we have those 3 main steps, the 3 main kind of sections, your acquisition, retention, referral. And our goal is to get people down this funnel all the way down to the bottom where they are advocates for your brand, where they're referring their friends, their family, their cat, their dog, like everyone around them to your brand because they're so excited and they're so happy about the results that they've got from your brand. Now, this is really, really important. And if you can master this alone, this is going to help you improve not only your initial like front end cost per acquisition and your retention, and you're going to get more revenue per customer. Not only that, but you're also going to just improve the relationship that you have with customers. Because if you're speaking to people and you're speaking to the pain point that people have, or you're speaking to the objection that people have when they have it, they're going to be like, is this dude in my head? How does he know that this is my objection? It's because at each stage, there are certain objections that people have. And if you can speak to those, it's going to go a hell of a long way. So I hope this helped out a lot. If it did, feel free to like and subscribe. And if you do have an e-com brand doing over $50,000 a month in revenue, I'd invite you to apply below. We go through all of this. We'll build this all out for you, all of the flows, all of the campaigns. This is another piece too, right? The campaign side of things, making sure you're also hitting this in the campaigns. But if you do have that brand and you are looking for some help with your email marketing and retention, there's a link in the description below, and I invite you to apply. Thanks so much and have a great day.